It's a cool rainy morning. Yes. It's actually raining out there and it's so cold. Yes, the traffics have built up. Of course, you know when it rains, definitely there will be traffic. Okay, welcome to Family and Values on Galaxy Television, where we are reaching out for the stars. Today is the 25th day in the month of June. Yesterday I told you, I said this week June will be rounding up. June will just tell us bye and welcome to July. So you see, we are almost there. And I said something. If you have plans from January till now that you've not accomplished, you still have the next 6 months to actually do that. Don't give up. Like I used to say, it's not a time to give up. It's a time to pick up, do fast, and act fast. Okay, so I quickly want to say this. On my way to work, I noticed that commuters are very funny, mostly drivers. You're driving and you're splashing water. Come on, don't do that. Once it's raining, try to be calm, you know, because somebody was all wet and she was complaining, how do I? And I actually felt for her because I can imagine coming to work and somebody splashes water and it's so obvious, you know, and the man couldn't even say sorry, he was just going. I mean, where have we dropped our empathy? We need to be empathetic towards one another so that you understand the other person's situation. Okay, like we used to say, it's Tuesday with a difference. Well, today I'll be running the show alone because, of course, my partner needs some rest, you know. Yeah, but don't worry, it's going to be very, very educative and interesting because the guest I have here surely will do justice to our topic. Okay, on that note, let's go on our mini feature. My name is Joy Abu. Let me not forget to introduce myself. Like I used to say, when you see these beautiful faces, you know that it's time for Family and Value. But hey, then let's go on our mini feature. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. Yes, we are going to be having our conversation on love, responsibility, religious fears, and character traits. You know, now we had to put all of that in one because everything about love actually has to play where you have religion, where you have responsibility. So that's where we'll be having our conversation today. And we have no other person than Reverend Mike Alanga in the studio because you know he is a human resource person and also a marriage coach and marriage counselor. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
Looking all daft and good. The weather did not affect you this morning. I can see.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, quick one now. Let me ask this question. I'm going to start from love and. How do I know I'm in love? Like, okay. People will come and say, I love this person. Then 6 months down the line, you notice you're having resentment towards that person. So how do I know that I'm in love with this person or I'm not infatuated or I'm not just lost in this person? How do I know that genuinely I'm in love with someone?
Okay, well, that question is a very valid and very good question when it has to do with relationship. Love itself, we have the mini future, it's a feeling that one has. So when somebody says I love someone and then you talk about infatuation as well, you know, the two of them look similar but they are different. Infatuation doesn't last long. Yes, it's volatile. But love stays for a long while if it is genuine.
Okay.
And what you should watch out for is there are some elements that really make you determine that I'm in love with the person who's in love with you. And this has to do with care, respect, and commitment. Now, you look at care. This person asks me, oh, how do I feel toward this person? Am I always thinking of this person's good or well-being? And that is a consistent thing, not just because of what I want, because I want the person to be better. I want this person to develop well than I even knew the person. And then respect. Does this person respect my boundaries? Do I respect this person's boundary? Does my opinion count? Does this person shut me down when I'm trying to express? So, you know, this respect it's very, very important. Everybody loves to be respected. So you know if truly you're in love with the person is in love with you, if that respect is there, your whatever you say counts, your own ideas count. When you talk, it counts. The person is always willing to listen to you and you give the person time to explain. And then commitment. You said when we say commitment is, am I willing to go the whole haul?
The whole haul for this person.
Am I willing to bend backwards, to sacrifice?
When the time comes, like they say, when the ships are down, are you ready to give in?
To make sure that this relationship works. So those three elements are very, very important for you to determine if truly you are in love or the person is in love with you. So there must be care, there must be respect, and there must be commitment.
Okay, now let's talk about responsibility.
Okay.
Because somehow, I've seen cases where somebody will tell you, I love you, but is not ready to match it with responsibility. Now, how do you play love with responsibility? Is it possible to even love someone without having a sense of responsibility towards this person? Because I, for once, I feel like if you come to me and tell me you love me, certain responsibilities, I don't need to take it on again because you're there. Now, it has nothing to do with entitlement. It has nothing to do with I'm entitled. But I just feel like for you to love me, you should play those roles.
Yes.
So now, can one love without actually taking full responsibility of certain roles?
Okay, very, very valid question. Two of them are mutually exclusive. That is, you can't throw one away and deal with the other. Two of them are always together. Because the truth is that responsibility will not be put on the table.
Love.
Love will not put, because you need to be responsible. So love alone will not put food on the table. There. So you need to show that level of commitment, which is your responsibility towards the person. Like you said, it's not entitlement. You understand?
Yeah.
So the person needs to show that level of responsibility. That look, I should be responsible for some things without you being asking. That is where care also comes.
Something.
That okay, I know you need this. The person should be able to know what your needs are, what your wants are, without you asking.
Without you asking.
Yes, because what love does is that you care for the other person, you look out for the other person, and that is what responsibility is. That you're trying to make this other person better. So you cannot say you love somebody and not be responsible. It doesn't work. It can't work, because you have people who have this entitlement mentality. Okay, once the guy comes or once the lady comes, of course, like, sugar mommy, sugar daddy, I just give it never lasts long. It never lasts long at all. So responsibility and love go hand in hand. It's the responsibility that lets you know this person truly loves me, because he's taking responsibility of some things that he needs to do. The guy needs to be taken care of. The lady, it's both ways. It's not just one person. Because it takes two to tango. Yes, you have the guy, you have the lady, or whosoever in relationship with. Everybody needs to bring something to the table. It shows that, look, I want this to work. I'm also interested in this. Because when everything is left with just one person, it makes the whole thing very boring.
But how do we match up in a society where women feel like I don't need to bring anything to the table? You know, those arguments of what are you bringing to the table? You know, it's been on for a while, and then men will say, women, what are you bringing to the table? And they'll say, okay, I'm bringing my care, I'm bringing my love, but men are actually talking of the financial. Now, let me tie it with this now. Is self-love appropriate when it comes to love as an issue? I'm asking this because I feel like women are the ones that always want that have ability to have self-love. Men, I've hardly seen men that would take themselves out just to have that treat, just to have that spa or that vacation. It's always family, it's always, you know. So is self-love appropriate? And talking about bringing something to the table, let me not go into that conversation. But how important is self-love when we're talking about love and responsibility?
Okay, self-love is very, very important, because the truth is that you cannot give what you don't have. Okay. So you start first by loving yourself, and it's beyond taking yourself out or buying stuff for yourself. It's accepting who you are. Maybe you have weaknesses or some things that people have used to tag you. Now you need to learn to accept yourself first. Because if you don't, it will be very difficult for you to love and accept other people. So first love is very, very appropriate, and it works both ways. Because it's a kind of healing in the inside of it, especially when somebody has a stigma, the person has done something wrong, or maybe the person made a mistake sometime and people have just placed a tag on the person. Now this person needs to self-love himself or herself. I mean, speak to himself or to herself, to love and accept himself first. Then it will be easy for other people, because it is when you do that, then love will find you. Because when you do that, you become more graceful. You are happy, regardless of what people say, regardless of what they do or how they act. As long as you're happy with yourself, love will definitely find such a person. So self-love is very, very important.
Love will definitely find something. I think I remember growing up, I had a friend of mine in my circle that got pregnant, you know, and all the mom was teaching her was accept the fact that I'm now a mother. Love the fact that you're going to birth another child. Then I didn't understand. Well, like, why is the mom encouraging? You're supposed to be scolding her that, hey, you got pregnant, and but now I'm understanding that all the mom was trying to tell her is love yourself. Don't join people in condemning you. Now love yourself. Now that brings me to my next question. How do I truly know that someone loves me? In this era where the word love has been abused, and I said have been abused because everybody feels they love somebody. But when you sit down to genuinely analyze, you discover that no, this is not love you're talking about. So how do I know that someone truly, genuinely loves me? For a single woman out there probably who has lost the husband, or probably out of separation and divorce, you know, and somebody is coming to preach to her, I love you, and she's recalling her past experience. How does she get to that point to differentiate that, okay, I think this person loves me? Now, mind you, men can be very deceitful. Women, too,
both ways.
they can come with a lot of goodies. Women can pretend to be all nice, rosy, just because they want to get. And then once they get that pride and has. So how do I know, even in the midst of all of this, how do I know that, okay, this person truly, genuinely loves me?
Okay, you know, we've actually mentioned that before. Infatuation is different from love. Infatuation is something that gets on one, and it's just, you're not thinking straight. You are just, what they say, love is blind, that's infatuation. You just crazy about someone and you're not considering the facts. Even though the red flags are there, because you're infatuated, you just want to go all the whole. Now, love, on the other hand, is different. It takes a while, and that is why we advise in counseling, you don't rush into marriage.
You don't rush into marriage.
Yes, because when you rush into marriage, it's like people you rush out. Okay? And marriage is an institution, like we know. If you run in there without considering and prayerfully getting into it, it might be a case of life imprisonment with hard labor, because the person in there might not be who you really think the person is. So it's good you have what called courtship. And courtship, it's a period of knowing this person well. Know how the person reacts, know how the person responds to things. Of course, like you pointed out, if this person had gone through a relationship before, maybe the person is no longer by divorce, maybe by death. Of course, memories will always be flashback. So that person doesn't need to rush. The person needs to allow time for herself, like that self-love, to accept the reality of what things are now, and then begin to plan what kind of life do I want to live. So to really figure out if somebody loves you, it's not rocket science. It's only when you close your eyes to the red flags that are there. You call the person, the way he responds to you, you know, there are things you just know, this one doesn't love me. And most importantly, it has to do with the inner person that you are. Yes, because if somebody comes to you and you always have that peace and that joy, it's a sign that this person is homely. This person is going to give me peace. But if somebody comes around you, there's always fear, there is always suspicion, it's a red flag. Your spirit is fighting that. So apart from what the person shows outside, the ambience of the person, what the person flashes at you, you also need to check in the inside, because for women, they have very, very powerful intuition. They can sense things more than men. And so I think that's more reason why I'm thinking why God actually made them that way. They're intuitive. They sense things more than men do sense. So if a woman tells you, don't go this way, please just respect because she has an intuition, yes, that you don't understand. So I think it has to be with you looking at the flags. Does this guy care? Does he respect me? Is he committed to me? Does this guy come when I need something urgently? Does he take me serious? You know, all these things are things you see. And then you now check inside your spirit and find out if truly you have that peace of this person is there. Am I happy around this person, or do I feel some hesitance in the inside of me? Is that hesitance in yourself that will tell you that there's something about this person that is
person.
not showing you, but something
Your
is there.
inner spirit
It's just telling you that
there. You know, we used to say
to guide you, to guide you.
Always say the conscience, the inner
Is inner you, yes,
definitely
it's guiding you.
But now, let's quickly talk about religious fears before we go on the break. Now, the truth is, over time, we've seen a lot of people come to talk about marriages. You know, they talk about responsibility. In fact, the Holy Book, the Bible says, an idle man is the devil's workshop. And he said, a man that cannot take care of his family is worse than an infidel. Now, but then at the same time, we are now seeing teachings that are coming up to say, no, don't kill the men for us. So, you know, now how do we marry religious fears to love and responsibility? Now, because you see, when two people are coming from two different religious backgrounds, it becomes, my teaching is different from your teaching. What they taught you is different from mine. That's why these days I'm always careful of what my kids listen to in terms of even the biblical space, because sometimes you're hearing one teaching and another person is countering it and you're like, what is happening? So how do we bring religious fears to play when it comes to love and responsibility?
Okay. Well, religion has done a lot of,
I feel it has done a lot of harm in marriages. Because, sorry, I saw something online and the man said he lost his 10 years marriage due to false prophecy. And sometimes, genuinely, you want to marry somebody. And they'll say, no, the Holy Spirit. And then they'll say, marry Mr. A. By the time the pastor is saying marry, you end up. So how do we bring religious fears?
Wow. That is a huge challenge that we have in the religious circle, where you have somebody else like a father figure wants you to control
you,
and that is not right, because when you talk about love, it's a personal decision you have to make yourself. Now, but some people, because of respect and reference they have pastor, maybe they are general overseer or reverend or whoever is fathering them spiritually. They want to give their life to the person, and they forget that you are only answerable to God. And whatever decision you make today, you are the one that will take responsibility. Yes. So everything falls on you, but they don't have an understanding, and that is where the problem is. Because the Bible says that we should get wisdom, and in all you're getting, get understanding. So once there is an understanding that, look, there is love and there is responsibility. Now, religion or no religion, I need to understand that there are things that is expected of me to do. When I come into this religion, it is natural. I don't need somebody to come and tell me. Now, like I said, it's understanding that I know. And because a lot of doctrine has made a lot of people get into a place where they have forgotten that responsibility is also placed on me to do some certain things. Marriage relationship takes, it's not just one person. There are people there, and everybody is expected to contribute to something. It's just like in an organization, you have a team. Everybody does something to make that team work. It is teamwork that makes the dream work. There is a plan, and then everybody has something they are contributing to bring that plan to fruition. So you can't just say, okay, let them be doing the work. You are not, that means you are not part of the team, or you are pulling the team backwards. So it's just the same thing with relationship. It's the same thing with relationship. So you have to be responsible. You have to be responsible. Even God himself, when he made Adam, he was doing something. Yes. And then the woman came, it's also added responsibility. Take care of her, make sure that she is not taught wrongly, and maybe that's the error. He left her, and then the devil took opportunity
to take responsibility.
Yes.
Okay, let's hold you on that. Let's go now. What of Marvel? And when we return, we're still talking about love, responsibility, religious fears, and character traits. See you on the other side. Okay, welcome back. Sometimes when you're playing behind the camera, they'll just, bring you up. But then it's fine. Don't worry. We are used to it. Okay, so if you're just joining us, we have been discussing love, responsibility, and religious fears and character traits. Yes. It's actually a very broad topic that we cannot finish one day, but we needed to put all this together because they intermarry each other, Now, I want to ask this question. how do I know I've fallen out of love with someone? You know, sometimes, sometimes you feel like, for whatever benefits you're getting, in your inner mind you know that, I don't love this person. But then, at some point, so how do I know? At what point do you get and discover that, I don't love this person anymore? I'm done with this person. So how do I know that I'm out of love with someone?
Well, there are a lot of signs that will tell you that you're no longer with this person, and the person too should also know, because of course when you start to think, there are things that made you start to like the person or to love the person. There are things you are doing together, and for you to have fallen out of love, something must have happened. It's not just one day. Maybe consistently you've observed a trend. You have observed something consistently, and it's not adding up to maybe your kind of person. Now, take for instance for somebody who has been jilted before, who had been dumped before. You know, there are a lot of factors that play, and the person is looking out for something, and she or himself sees this thing and says, look at this person is right. But along the way, some things begin to change, and that is why it's good that you take a while to know the person. Yes, so that so many things that would have been hidden when you rush into it, you begin to see, they begin to manifest, because life will always happen.
Life will definitely happen.
Now, take for instance, if this person was somebody who was up and doing financially everything, and then maybe life happened to the person, and then you begin to feel the person, because the person not begin some need seeking, so some things have stopped coming and all that, and you begin to feel some resistance, resentment towards the person, distance, and you begin to feel so much towards the person calls you no longer interested. So it means you didn't really love the person. It was what the person had. So that was infatuation. You just love the money, not the person. Now, that's just one aspect.
One aspect of it.
Now, let's take for instance, something happened, and then you are not the kind of person that take being shouted on lightly, and you've not seen this person get and this person have not, and maybe something that doesn't even warrant. The person just explode and keeps. That's how you, and the person starts giving you history of,
history of
your offenses you have done that he has kept. God bless you that he has kept, that you didn't see, and then
all
these are like,
we're picking up all this.
Yes, you might not react immediately. You can just say, okay, I'm sorry at the minute, but by the time you are in,
it's really them.
and then what begins to come to your mind? Is this the kind of person that I want to?
This person can keep all this.
Just have like, and before you know it, resentment begins to set in, because you've seen something you didn't like. You might not confront the person immediately, but in your spirit something you didn't like has happened, and the person does it again second time. You just start showing attitude. Attitude, and the person too should get it that it's like this person is no longer there. So these are just some scenarios. Other things can make you begin to feel that I'm no longer in this person.
Okay, now today a very popular figure in Nigeria, a popular celebrity is getting married, and now that relationship for me, have stood the test of time. But then somebody said, it is now the real test is coming. And somebody said, if you were to take all this affluence away from this person, will you genuinely still walk down the aisles with this person, knowing the lapses that this person has? And that thing got to me like, could this lady be here simply because of what she's getting? Now, if they were to take all of that, was she genuine? And that brings me to forgiveness. You know, I had a guest that once said, cheating should never be a deal breaker for divorce. That's because there is always room for forgiveness. And even went as far as saying, even domestic violence, that to an extent, when it's gone beyond that certain things, that when it gets to threatening, that there are certain things. Now, there was a time we had a conversation where we talked about the standard of relationship, and forgiveness was one of it. How do I forgive someone who has constantly offended me? Like this marriage that is being talked about.
Everywhere.
There were times they went their ways, like, I'm done. So, but how do I come to that point of, you know what, yes, you've cheated on me, yes, you've messed up, but I want to genuinely forgive you. How do I come to that place of letting go, forgiving someone who has offended me, and loving the person back? It's one thing to forgive. It's another thing to love.
Yes.
Because they said if you want to eat with the devil, and some people will say, no, don't speak it on the same plate at all. And some people will say, if this person has done it once, has done it twice, no, stay up. But we've had relationships that they've been multiple times. I think that the celebrity couple I was been talking about this, and I said, for this lady to have stood all those years, going through the scandals with her husband, today he's here, tomorrow he's not, so she's still there. So now, how genuinely forgive someone and love the person genuinely like it never happened? How do we get to that place?
Thank you. That's a very, very important question. And that still comes back to the kind of love we're talking about here. So for me, there are two distinct kinds of love. We have a human love and we have a God kind of love.
God kind of love.
Yes. The human love has the ability to hold on to things and not to forgive easily. The human love has the ability to actually get the person out of his or her life for an offense committed, like cheating and any other offense person feels this person is a meaningful. That is the human kind of love. That is where we find ourselves. Now, the other kind of love, which is the agape, that is the God kind of love, is foreign to this world because it is a God kind of love that does not put into consideration what you've done before I love you.
Before I love you. So it's like, even if you've sinned, I love you.
And that is why the Bible tells us that even though while we are yet sinners, He died. He died for us. That He loved us first. He loved us. So that love is not what the world understands. Can I forgive somebody that has offended me once, twice? That it's not. Yes, humanly it is hard because the human kind of love have limitations. They don't last for a long while. I think people say celebrity marriages don't last for too long, and we've seen it play out.
Yeah,
It's really played out, and that's because it's still in that human nature. It's in that human nature. But once one allows God's love to dominate him or dominate her, the person now begins to see people the way God sees them, beyond their errors, beyond their inadequacies or shortcomings. That is the kind of love that will keep a marriage going for a long while, that I am willing to forgive, even 10, 20 times, I'm willing to forgive. Just like what Peter came to me and said, how many times will my neighbor offend me and I forgive? It's 70 times. Yes, you have to, because that is the nature of God. But to a man, Peter says it's hard to, because how can somebody keep forgiving the person? Yes, it is hard.
And they keep offending me.
It's hard because it is the flesh, it is the human kind of love. So we need to see how we can graduate to this higher order of love, which is the God kind of love, agape. And for people to get there, you need to have a relationship with God. Yes. Regardless of what people say you are or what you've done, you need to look up to God because He doesn't condemn anybody. He's always waiting for you to come and say, Father, look, I'm here. And that is all He needs. And then He covers you with that love and you allow the love to dominate you. You don't see human beings as other people see them, you see them as God sees them. So in that kind of love, He will be willing to forgive the person even before the person commits the offense.
You know, I had a guest that once said, even before you think of offending me, even she said she has already, he said I've made up my mind to forgive. So I foresee it coming and I've prepared my mind. Now let's talk about the character traits.
Okay.
Now, you know, sometimes during courtship, people will say, court for someone, try to know. But I feel like courtship is not, you don't get to know so much about this person because it is what I put out that I want you to know.
Yes.
Now I might be with you for 3 years and I'm pretending that okay, I don't like drinks, I don't want, you know, and you are seeing someone that I don't need to spend so much, it's not the, and then we get married and suddenly And there was a time I had this young couple that came to me and said, he said, Joy, I don't know. Where we are coming from, we don't use all those things. But I'm seeing my wife, and I said, how? They said, I've dated her for 3 years, and this never, also, even when we are talking about it, she will condemn it. On the moment we got married, in fact, on their wedding day, that was where the issue started, because the bride was walking out with lashes. And he was like, no, remove it. No, start with the wig. And it became an issue. Now, so how do I detect character traits? Why loving someone? Why in a relationship with someone? How do I detect those, no matter how it is hidden, how do I detect those character traits in someone?
Okay. Like I would always say that character is like smoke. You can't keep smoke for a container for too long. Smoke always find its way out somehow. So, as much as people try as much as they can to keep some character they have away from people, so that don't stigmatize them. Don't get which I would say is not right. You need to let the person relationship to know who you are, so that you can get help. This is what I cannot do, this is what I can do. Okay, can we start like this? But it's sad when somebody now hides some traits. That's one area we can't actually detect, because we are not God. We see the heart. Yes, we see that. We see everything everybody does. But in a way, He has put a spirit in us that tells us things, and that's your intuition. And when you're born again, it's the Holy Spirit that helps you to know that this is not right. There are some things that is not just adding up. And for me, what I do when somebody comes and I'm beginning to talk about a relationship, what I pray is, God, remove this person from me. And many times I've seen it happen. What happens is that things play out, and I see some character the person has been hiding. Things don't play out, and the person has been hiding with. And it's like a reflex action. The person didn't know, because these are emotional things that happen. So the person just did it out of impulse, and before the person will withdraw, I've already seen, okay, so this is. So it's not possible for you to know a person to the latter. After courtship, there is another courtship. Of course, when a woman is pregnant, another ball game.
Don't go there. Don't go there.
So by the time you get into it, some people are waiting for that license to be given. I am now inside here. My leg is inside. Officially now, I am now confirmed a member of this family. I'm now carrying the name of someone, and then it's now time for me to begin to show. But that would be wrong.
To show my true
that would be very, very wrong. It's just for the other person as well to not. The expectation should not be too high, because most times, when we expect things from people, it puts us in a very compromising state. Because when you don't meet that expectation, you now begin to feel sad. So we should not allow expectations from other people to be too high. There should be room for amendment, room for changes. You should give people benefit of doubt. Nobody's perfect. Every one of us are work in progress. We are building up to become better than when we are last year. So there should be room for change, there should be room for forgiveness, room for faith. Give the person benefit of doubt. And that's why I tell people, don't judge other people from other people's experience of what they say. Yes. Give the person the benefit of doubt. Trust the best of your spouse or the person in your relationship. Trust the best of them, because yes, people will hurt you. People will say things and do things you don't expect them to say, especially when you are not there. So it will be for your own good to have that buffer. Okay, it's human. It's human to err, to forgive is divine.
Okay, as we round up, let's talk about religious fears again. There was a time somebody said something that women have made their pastors, their generals here, above their husbands, and that the place you don't serve your husband once Father in the Lord and this one comes. Now, when we started this, you said something that religion has actually affected and brought negativity to us. Now, how do we get to that point? You see, it's one thing to tell people, know God for yourself.
Yes.
It's one thing to say, okay, fine, I'm presenting this person to you. Pray about it. let's have what God is saying. It's another thing to give that person 100% room to play in your marriage. And we see that a lot, I told the story of a very popular person. 10 years. Why? Because there was fake prophecy. I've had a case where somebody said, don't marry Mr. A, marry Mr. B. God said this is what, and honestly, that was the wrongest mistake because the lady ended up dying in that marriage. So how do we bring religious fear? How do we get to that point where religious fears, and we don't allow religion to become a standard for our marriage, is our relationship? Because most times we've allowed it, it is based on what the pastor is saying is what you're using as your standard for your own. I need to hear what the pastor. How do we come to that point? Because every little thing you're calling your pastor, you're reporting, So how do we get to that point where we don't make religion the main reason? Know God for yourself. How did we even get to this point in the first place? But then here we are, we can't take it away. So how do we find our way to navigate around it?
Well, it's deliverance. I will say deliverance because people have over lives. And the sad thing is that they don't learn from the errors of others. Because maybe they are getting something from that so-called man of God. Or maybe there is a particular protection they are getting from them. And those man of God who sometimes don't help. They are supposed to direct them to God. They are supposed to be the guidance, not be a Lord or a God over the people. But that's the place of God. You can't take the place of God. When it comes to relationship, religion has a part to play. It's to guide you, to make sure that you're on the right path. But choosing is the left.
For you, even God allows us to make our choices.
We are free moral agents.
God will not. He loves you, but he doesn't force himself.
The ability to choose is what makes us superior to animals. And that is the way God created. Angels cannot choose. You see, that is why they are like, this man, you are very fortunate. God made you and gave you the ability to choose. That is a very powerful thing. So, for someone to now say, I submit that to my man of God.
It's bondage anyway.
And you have somebody dictating your life on the name of a prophet and a man of God. You know God for yourself. These people need to come. And so sometimes when I pray for people that are in such a place where their life is just either one man of God. They don't see beyond what the man of God is. So they are in bondage. Whatever the man of God tells them to do,
that's what they do.
So that is slavery, and that is witchcraft. It's demonic. It's not godly at all. It's not even the way God. It's another religion apart from what God has said. So God gives us that ability to choose. And love, you have the right to choose who you want to marry, who you want to be with. It is solely your own right. Nobody should take that. But when somebody finds himself there, the only thing is to pray for the person to be married. Because there's nothing you can do. Because somehow there is a soul tie somewhere. The person has said or done something, just to make sure that you are the one that will be taken. So it is what it is. It is we pray that God will help you so that their eyes will be so that they can see the reality of it. That when it comes to love, you have the ability
to make your choices. Okay, now before I let you go, I'd love you to give you just a 1 minute advice to those out there.
There's nothing dreadful.
So we expecting that.
Okay. So for our viewers out there, I just want to say that love is a beautiful thing. And the originator of love is God himself. And that is the only one person that we need to tie ourselves with. So regardless of what you're going through, regardless of what you've seen or what you've suffered, it's for you to hand over yourself to God and ask him to help you. That is one person that can never push you aside, that can never condemn you. He is a loving God. So you look up to him and ask him to help you. If you are in a relationship that is not working, still ask God for the mercy for counsel.
Yes, and God for help and sick for cancer. Okay, on that note, we have from Viju Industries and Viju Water. You know, the weather is actually very good, so we have Viju Coffee here to come in and water.
Thank you so much.
So we have a family and
Thank you
and
so much.
Galaxy
I appreciate
Television
it.
and
Thank you.
Viju Industries. We are giving you that.
Thank you very much.
Refresh yourself.
Thank you.
Okay, yes, you know, it's always Tuesday with a difference. Tomorrow is Wednesday, and we will be discussing my marriage, my duty post.
Wow, awesome.
You don't want to miss it. My marriage, my duty post. You know, family and values is all about, we are bringing back those values that are lost. We want your marriages to work. We love you. We want your relationship. We want you to have a better children. We want you to be good parents, you know, to your kids, you know. So tomorrow we'll be having that conversation. Of course, I guess to be in the studio to do justice, don't worry, by the time she comes to you understand better. Thank you very much for being a part of Family and Values today. Yes, I love you. You for our VIPs, my viewers are always on standby, you know, watching us. And please subscribe to our YouTube channel. I'll keep begging you. Topics like these are topics you don't want to miss. Share with your loved ones, share with your family. Those of you that like sharing, WhatsApp, share to 20 people. These are the kind of things we share so that you never can tell whose home or whose relationship you are definitely saving at that point. Thank you very much. My name still remains Joy Abu. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a blessed, a great Tuesday with a difference. And hey, it's raining out there. Be careful and stay safe out there. Have a great day. See you tomorrow. Bye.